So essentially, by laying the intelligent content marketing strategy, there's no way you can lose, because both the free customers, meaning the ones that don't pay, and the ones that pay, they're still spreading your message, so you're growing exponentially just by showcasing your expertise.
Absolutely. However, to go back to the point about it being an intellectual silver bullet, we have an example of a business that we started about a year and a half into the Hong Kong Visa Centre business. And that is, throughout all my prior years in immigration, both in Hong Kong and then globally, I knew that there was a significant market for a second nationality strategy that was based on a really good European jurisdiction that would allow you access to a really good, sophisticated European country from an immigration perspective, sophisticated I mean, that gave you then immediate access to the complete EU, that was going to require the minimum amount of time having to be spent in that country to qualify for it, that would require ultimately the minimum amount of investment that you needed to qualify for it, and the minimum amount of pain and process, all things considered. I think it was in 2011, 2012, the Portuguese government introduced a program called the Golden Residence Permit, which was essentially an immigration program that addressed the shortcomings, as I perceive them, for a very effective, cost-effective, efficient second nationality program. I won't go into the details of it. It was the program to be considering, because everywhere else was expensive and not that easy to actually qualify for. Involved a lot of due diligence and a lot of flying around and spending time in country, and just a lot of disruption in order to get your passport ultimately over time. The Portuguese program was a pathway through to citizenship and a Portuguese passport, very, very relatively straightforward, all things considered. So because I had such an insight that product proposition was going to be compelling, because there wasn't that much on the market that could even hold a candle to it, I decided to mirror the Hong Kong Visa Centre, Hong Kong Visa Handbook, Hong Kong Visa Giza intelligent content marketing type strategy to a new product, a website called europeanpassport.eu. And so we invested 2 years of pouring content into that proposition, and we did a fantastic job from a content perspective. The problem was that in time I came to understand that I was doing it all wrong, because the market actually for that program at that point in time, A, wasn't the English language market, it was a Chinese market, because it was the Chinese that wanted to participate in that program, and in due course the numbers show that 80% of all the golden residence permits are issued to Chinese. So it was a Chinese language play, it wasn't an English language play. So that means that I was immediately, cutting out or discounting 80% of the market for that product, because I didn't know the second passport market as well as I know the Hong Kong immigration market. So that was the first mistake that I made. The second thing that I came to understand is that as soon as the Portuguese introduced the Golden Residence Permit, half a dozen other European countries started to introduce similar programs, right? And then it just ultimately boiled down to price. So 80% of the market is Chinese, and then when you get into the Chinese market anyway, it's all about price. So the market had then been disintegrated again from my perspective. So 2 years into a very sophisticated content strategy, I realized we were barking up the wrong tree, and it didn't matter how great our content proposition was. The market simply wasn't big enough that we had defined for ourselves, which was the English-speaking market, to warrant the investment that we were making in that content proposition. So, it's not good enough just to have an intelligent content marketing strategy in relation to a proposition that you want to parlay. You've got to really know your market, and you've got to really understand, is this what I'm planning to do going to work the way that I've perceived it? So, you know, if I were going to go into that market again and develop a content strategy again, I would develop a completely different content strategy. I mean, I know I can make a content strategy work in that market because we could do it in a way that the existing providers in that marketplace don't operate. But by the time I've sort of done all of that research and reinvented the way that we would want to parlay that proposition and then go after it, and knowing that the key referral network in a second passport environment is always about a trusted advisor that you already have a relationship with. So from our perspective, if we went in a content strategy, it would be developing a content strategy that supported the referral network and their sales efforts rather than the end user customer, because that's where we would make our money. So intelligent content marketing works, but you've got to do the thinking and you've got to know what you sell. So with European passports, which happened very early on in our intelligent content marketing journey, I learned that you can't expect this stuff to work if you haven't done the thinking and you don't know your market. So you absolutely have to do the thinking and you have to know the market. But the joy behind doing the thinking and knowing the market is that if you're doing it truly within your realm of expertise, as Hong Kong immigration was for us, whereas the second nationality market was within my area of expertise, but not my core expertise. By doing the thinking and knowing what you sell within what you know best in your own expert niche, then you can develop a very compelling, successful, intelligent content marketing strategy. But European passport underscores the fact that you have to do the thinking properly. Because it's a big investment that you have to make, and you don't want to discover 2 years into it that you've made the wrong investment.